Thus, St. Augustine, or Augustine of Hippo, finished astrology by bringing the so-called proof that the twins, born at the same time, but they have a different life. So, does this mean that astrology is useless? Is it the proof that it doesn't work? In this text, Civitate Dei, which means the city of God, St. Augustine is writing, how is it that they have never been able to explain why there is such diversity in the life of twins, in their actions, their fortunes, their professions, their trades, their honors, and in all other things. It is 169, 11 minutes time. Okay, so we have like 20 stations and this will be 20 minutes of ride. Close to nature, close to sea. It brings that sattvic energy which we all need, and especially in this current times of the corona, the war. People are anxious, people are living in fear, instability. We need to recharge our batteries, we need to get that sattva stability, this peace and so on. So this is the argument of twins from St. Augustine against astrology. He was living in years 354 till 430, and he was from the Berbers origin. This is from North Africa, so this is very interesting, taking into account that he is considered one of the fathers of Christianity. I must admit that these considerations of relationship between astrology and science are very close to me, so this problem is very interesting also from this point of view. So in this video we'll talk about this argument. Is it really the game over for astrology? Are there any solutions coming from astrology gurus or from the schools? What we can do about this? So now let's dive right into the video. So I would say that this argument is strong. If the chart is the same but the life is really different, then we have to restrict astrology to some kind of psychological map or to whatever would be the common in those two people in their lives. But then it is kind of useless because we see how the life of the twins is different. They may have a different career life, different relationships, different health. So then this is really a problem we need to solve. So I hope this video will show you how the argument of St. Augustine is wrong. Please bear with me till the end, because at the end we will have example which will demonstrate how to see the differences between the two twins. So this also tells us how the lagna is important, because the chart will be the same, the planets will be in the same signs. So for those astrologers who are not using the houses, they cannot show the difference between the people born in the same day, because people born in the same day, they will have the same position of planets. Maybe the moon will change after 2.5 days. The moon is changing the sign, but the planets are in the same sign. So if you are not having the birth time, if you are not having this information in which hour you were born, then there is no question of houses. You cannot place these planets into the houses, and this is a big problem, because the houses are telling us about the areas of life. So planets and signs are showing how the nature is for you. We can say that for people born in the same day, the nature will have the same colors. We could say that the fate divided into the 9 planets will have the same clothes, because as the Surya is changing from the sign to sign, he is taking the form of various Adityas, so he's changing the cloth every time he's changing the sign. So between 29, 30 and the 0 degree of the next sign, he's changing the clothes. So this shows how the nature is for you, but how you are experiencing the nature in your life, how this is touching your areas of life. Is it in a relationship or property matters or for your health? This you cannot tell without having the houses, and you cannot have the houses without the ascendant. And you cannot have the ascendant without your exact birth time. And now when we talk about the houses, then when it comes to twins, we can consider one of the twin as the sibling. So then very important will be the houses of siblings. And we say these are the 3rd and 11th house. So 3rd is normally for the younger and 11 is for the elder sibling. And we have a special chart called Drekana. So there are also many types of Drekanas. Drekana is basically the chart which is created by dividing the sign into the 3 parts. So the main one which is used for sibling is called Parashara Drekana. It is given in Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra. So this is one Drekana. We have also a Jagannath Drekana, which is showing the karma phala, the effects or the fruits of karma. We have also the Somanath Drekana, which is showing our ojas and sexuality. There is also Parivriti Drekana. So there are many Drekanas. Also there are many Horas. This is interesting that this Hora and Drekana, there are many types. For the Navamsha, we also have the Parashara, the Nadi, Parivriti. We have also the Somanath Navamsha. Different for calculation, so there's also different usage of these Horas, Drekanas, Navamshas, and so on. So for the siblings, we are using the 3rd and 11th. This is like our, we could say, our right hand. We are saying that brothers or even the friends are like our right hand. So the hands are in the 3rd and 11th, because when we are dividing our body into the 12 parts, the hands will be in the 3rd, 11th, and similarly our neighbors and our siblings, they will also be in that houses 3 or 11th. We also have to understand that the circumstances of delivery, how you were born, are seen in the Navamsa chart, so especially the Navamsa Lagna. If you have Rahu and Ketu there, then you are born through use of the tools, the forceps normally. And if you have Mars or even sometimes Ketu, then the Caesarean birth is there. Venus in the 1st or 7th can give us the premature birth, and the Saturn can show that we may have problems with breathing, with the air, because Saturn is all in that airy tattva. So when it comes to how we were born, then the Navamsha Lagna is definitely the place to check. Even if you will read the Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra, then even the numbers of attendants of your birth or how you came to this world, from the side of the head or side of the legs. What was the situation? Was it auspicious or not? Sometimes people are born on the way, so this is also one way to see it in the Navamsa chart. Now going to the main problem and the solution. So the problem was that the twins are born on the same time. They have the same chart, but their life is different. What do we do about that? Our school has a solution to this. We are treating the birth of the twins as a one package. And then we are treating the one of the twin as a sibling, as a brother. So that is the solution. Now, how we do technically about it, we are just taking the 3rd or 11th house from the Lagna. Lagna is the ascendant, and depending if the ascendant is the odd or even, we are just taking the 3rd or 11th from ascendant as the new ascendant for the another twin, depending who was born first and who was born next. We have chart with completely different position of planets for the another twin. And of course, as we see the life of the twins, there is a lot of similar points. Their life is very similar in many points, and this similarity can be reflected in the position of the planet in the signs. So as we said, the nature will be the same for these people, how the nature is presented to you. But the role this parts of the nature will play in your life, this will be different and will depend on the position of planets in these houses, and this will be different. And this difference we are also appreciating by taking the 3rd or 11th as a new ascendant for the twin which was born earlier. Now someone can ask what we are doing about the Vargas, because this is also very interesting, because in Vedic astrology they are changing, they are very sensitive points. For example, Shastyamsa may change every half a minute, every minute. So we could say that the twins can be born a few minutes apart. So someone can say that yes, in astrology, in Vedic astrology, the difference will be in the Vargas. And this is true to some extent. And some people are just going by this, but we have to also take another Rasi chart, because Even what is the Rasi chart? This is how these environments, which are the Vargas, how these worlds of us, the world of children, the world of relationship, the world of properties, also their experience is different for us. So the Rasi chart also should be different. And also we see that the twins are working in different sectors. One can be engineer, the other can be actor, and so on. We see that in their biographies. And so the Aruda, Lagna, which is showing the sector, and this is in the Rasi chart. So also the Aruda has to be different, the Rasi chart has to be different, and this difference we will exactly see in the example. Professor Donai Dien, and she was an appointed senior registrar in 1980. She was the consultant in medical genetics. So basically she was geneticist, and this has a lot to do with the technical knowledge. We will see that in the chart. But what is very important is that she was on one hand the president of the Clinical Genetic Society, but also Jupiterian sector, Jupiterian jobs, because she was the consultant advisor. So advisor, consultant, this is all Jupiter. And then she was the Carter lecturer of the Clinical Genetic Society in 2004. And received the March of Dimes Lifetime Achievement in Genetics in 2010. And her main interests are in this morphology, genetic service development, and in public engagement in genetics. She also had a lot of success because she described first something which was later called Donai-Barrow syndrome, the genetic disorder that affects many parts of the body. So she was also a scientist. She discovered new things in the field of genetics. So now let's go to this chart. And this example is very important because we know which twin was born later, which twin was born earlier. So we know, she said, she was born before midnight and her twin was born after midnight. And now this is very interesting because we have to treat her chart as the 3rd or 11th from the ascendant. And if we put these birth details, we have Libra Lagna, which is the odd sign. So we need to see the chart now from the 3rd from Libra. And this will be Sagittarius. So now the twin, which was born earlier, is seen from Sagittarius, not Libra. So the house position will be totally different, and also the Aruda will be different. And now we'll see how this Aruda changes, how the sector is explained by the new Aruda. Okay, so if we take the Libra Lagna, the Lagna Lord would be Venus in the 6th house. 10th Lord would be Moon with the Venus in Pisces. This could explain some work with the hospitals, with the clinics, and some service, because 6th house is about the service. But that would be more of a twin. The Aruda Lagna, which is showing the place in the society, would be here in Leo. This could jump to the Aquarius, because the Aquarius is stronger than Leo. When the 7th from Aruda is stronger, the Aruda can jump to the 7th house. So the Aruda is quite a dynamic point, and this changes based on our circumstances, based on our dasha, based on our karma. And in some cases there could be even 4 Arudas. So there is a lot of dynamics here. In this case, this main planet which is here influencing would be the Sun. We could even take the Mars and Mercury aspecting by the Rasi Drishti, the Aruda in Leo. But the one in the Aquarius is stronger than we have only the Sun. Now I have a friend with the same position, Libra Lagna Aruda in Aquarius with the Sun, and she is employing people, she is giving jobs to others, she is providing the possibility so other people have the jobs. And this is the Sun. Sun is the job giver. This is like a father, this is like a president, this is like a person who is full of resources, giving us the resources. The Sun as Aditya is giving everyone the resources. But where is the Jupiter? How we could explain with this chart? Now Jupiter here is in the 8th from the Aruda or the 2nd from the Aruda. There is even no connection to the Moon. So the person is not working in the medical field. So with this Aruda, it is very hard to explain the sector of work for this person. But now let us try the Sagittarius, because we know that the Libra is the odd sign, so per the traditional rules, we should take the 3rd house from Libra, which is the Sagittarius. Looks quite different. We have Jupiter being in the 10th house, and this is giving us the Siddha Yoga. So now with the Lagna Lord in the 10th house, the person is the Siddhi, which is the expert person who wants to get some discovery, wants to be expert in something, wants to get some success in the field. And this is Jupiter, which will show the person who is into the advising, into the consulting, into being into lectures. And so now that is showing that in much better way. And now we know that if the Lagna Lord is in 10th, then the Aruda will fall in the 4th house. And what we would have in the 4th house, now in the Pisces of hospitals, we have the Moon and Venus. So now we have the Aruda related to the Moon. So now person is working in the field of medicine. And what is also very interesting is that the Moon is with the Venus. So the yoga of Moon Venus or the Moon Mars is showing chemistry, biology. So we know that the genetics is part of biology. So the Venus is also showing that in a very nice way. So now with the new Aruda, we have a Jupiter, connection to the Jupiter, which is showing person who is into academia. We need to have a Jupiter related to the Aruda Lagna for a person to be working in the academic sector. And here the Jupiter would be in Virgo, and these are the dual signs. The dual signs are aspecting each other when it comes to Rasi Drishti or the sign aspect. So even if Aruda would jump to Pisces because the Pisces is stronger, still we would have this Sambandha, this connection to Jupiter, and we also have connection to Moon, which shows medicine, and to this yoga of Moon Venus, which shows biology, chemistry or genetics. And the Lagna Lord is in the 10th house, which is showing the person is into a CD, into getting some success, and this is Jupiter, which is showing the high wisdom or the very abstract thing, very complicated knowledge, because Jupiter is very good at memory. So the big areas of knowledge are like encyclopedic knowledge. So the genetics have a lot of parts. It is very hard science. And the Lord is Mercury with the Mars, and the Mars is showing these technicalities, because in genetics it's like engineering. There's a lot of technicalities. So the Mercury is joining the exalted Mars. So Sagittarius Lagna explains the sector and what the person is doing, and also the main direction that the person wants to attain the CD much better than Libra. So that would be the proof that this rule works, and we can safely take the 3rd or 11th in the situation or circumstances when we are dealing with the twins chart in astrology. So yeah, we could say that we have defended astrology from this attack of St.Augustine about the twins proof, right? Which was against the astrology. So now we see that we can take the 3rd and 11th from the ascendant. We have seen the example how it nicely shows, and we are using the traditional rules because they will give us some falsified rules. Like we can see, yeah, if Jupiter has Sambandha to the Aruda Lagna, then it must be academia. Or if it's academia, Jupiter has to have some connections to the Aruda Lagna. So we have these falsified rules which we can use to check which ascendant is right or wrong. So the whole tactic, the whole methodology of seeing the twins was given here by the tradition. I found it very interesting, and I hope you also get some new value from this video. Okay guys, so that's gonna be it from me. I hope you find it interesting and informative. If you do, please click that thumbs up. This free act of solidarity, which costs you nothing, is helping me to make my videos visible on the YouTube platform. Subscribe if you haven't already, and see you in the next one.